Okay, so thanks for being here. Another talk about Jetpack Compose. And this time I will be talking about Jetpack Compose Canvas. So first, a bit of introduction. I'm Julien Salvi. I'm a lead Android engineer at Aircall, a French scale-up based in Paris. And I'm also an Android GD. I'm part of the Paris Android user group and like listening back music and drinking IPA beers. And you can find me on Twitter at Julien Salvi. So what we'll be talking about? We'll be talking about Canvas, how we can draw things. First, I will be covered a bit of introduction or covered all the APIs and stuff about the Canvas. Then we'll go through how we can animate those shapes we draw on this Canvas, and then we'll take this knowledge outside of the Canvas and take this from the composables and how we can like draw and animate shapes and do some nice stuff for your composables. Okay, so let's do the first steps with the Canvas. So what we're gonna learn today, we'll see the foundation of the Jetpack Compose Canvas, the composable canvas. So we'll have also another view of the Draw Scope API to draw some shapes inside the canvas. And then we'll have our first experience with animation and canvas, so we can animate the shape we just drawn. And then we'll learn how to build and animate some custom shapes for your composables. So once you will have all this knowledge, you can like build some very custom composables like this, or do some crazy animation like a tomato timer, or if you like games, like retro games, you can even like build some crazy games like a Tetris, all made with Jetpack Compose. So why do you want like to go for some canvas? So maybe some design limitation with current composable and some design limitations of the current composable. It can be also for drawing custom shapes. If it's on your design system and you want like to have some cut corners with some rounded corners as well. I don't know, whatever the shape you want to draw on your composable. Or if you want to build some graphical experience, like mostly some mathematics stuff about graph, historic, and histogram and stuff like this. So you can go with the canvas to do that. And also, can be used for games, so can be used for fun, like unleash your mathematical knowledge and your drawing skill to do some crazy things with the canvas. Was it possible to draw on the canvas before Compose? Yes. But some function names were not very explicit back with the view system. And we didn't have like a dedicated canvas canvas thing, so we have to override the view, the undraw, for example. I will show you right here. So whatever the view, so you override the undraw to access the canvas and draw all the stuff inside the canvas to be rendered on the view. So that like the way we did with the view system. So about like the canvas, know that every views and canvas stuff, we have an origin and the X and Y axis, and the origin is always at the top left corner. That the basics you have to know when you want like to draw something inside your composable or inside your view. The origin is always at the top left corner. And the y-axis is always from top to bottom, and the x is always from left to right. Okay, so first I'm going to talk a bit about the Canvas APIs you can find. So you can draw a rectangle or draw a line, an oval or a circle, so that the default shapes you can draw with the canvas. You can also draw some bitmap or drawing some text directly on the canvas. That's totally possible. And you can also, I was thinking about shapes, and use the path API to draw some complex paths inside your canvas to have a very complex shape that will be rendered inside the canvas. And also we can use some for example, with translation, with scale, with rotation to animate this shape in the canvas. We're gonna see that after a while. So if you want to know some basic stuff about the canvas, I recommend this article, which is very nice to learn the Canvas 101. So it's a very good article here, made by Rebecca Franks. All right, so now we have an overview of the Canvas API. So what we're gonna do with the Canvas? We're gonna jump into the real stuff and see some example with the Canvas. Okay, so what about the Jetpack Compose Canvas? So we've seen previously with the view system, we need to override the on-draw stuff and then access the canvas and draw on that. Now, with Compose, we have a dedicated component, and all the drawing stuff will be done with the draw scope APIs I just mentioned before. So there's also the APIs to animate your drawings. And also, you can access the native canvas to, for example, draw some text, because draw text is not available on the draw scope API. And we can access the native canvas, which comes from the view framework, and draw some text, for example. So here is, for example, the Jetpack Compose Canvas component. So defined as a canvas, you can pass whatever the modifier you want to in order to shape your canvas. And then there is a lambda, the undraw lambda, where you will be access the draw scope, and there you will be able to draw anything. So to have a bit of introduction with all the APIs, we're gonna draw a smiley face here. And we'll see some methods that we can use to do such a thing. So we're gonna do this smiley face. So we're gonna start by drawing the head. So we're gonna call the draw circle to have a round head. We can pass a color or a gradient. So here I will be using a gradient for just style. And then, so inside the draw scope, you can access the size of the composable. So with the size attribute, and you can then access the width and the height in order to position your drawings in the canvas. So here I'm gonna draw a circle which is centered in this composable with a radius of half of the size of the composable. And then I'm just adding a stroke, a plain stroke, to draw the green head. So then we're gonna go for the smile. So for the smile, we're gonna draw a plain arc. So putting a red color, we must go for a start angle and then the sweep angle, to draw the nice smile of the smiley. I'm gonna center this inside my in my face, and then will be applying some padding in order to put the smile at the bottom of the face, where everybody was supposed to have a mouth, actually. And then I'm gonna define also the size of the arc. And then what is missing, we will have the eyes. So I'm gonna draw two rectangles here with here a dark color. I'm gonna also place the composable with the offset. So the offset for the left eye will be on the left, and for the right it will be on the right. And then I'm also accessing always the size, so the width and the height, depending of when I want to place my component. And then I do some basic mathematics stuff, to place my eyes on the canvas. And then we'll go to Android Studio to have a nice demo. This is my main scaffold here. So I'm gonna put a smiley face. Here I'm gonna put some modifier. And I'm gonna copy paste the modifier to place my smiley face. So if I go on it, I can see I just put like a size of 200 dp. So I draw here my head, I draw my smile with the position. So I said on the draw scope you can access the size of the canvas. So it's very useful here. So draw the eyes, and that's pretty much it. We are good to go. And if I this okay, it will be. I compile the sample. And it's here. So you have your smiley face here, and you can, for example, modify the size of the composable. Let's say I want like to have like 100 dp, so a bit less. And if I go back, it's gonna be live. Not yet. Yeah. So you can shrink and like go like expand your size with the like the small mathematical stuff you use with the size of the composable, and you can place with the proportionality of whatever you want. Okay, so now we've seen that, let's go back to the slides and see how we can interact with the native canvas of Android. So if you use some canvas stuff in the Vue framework, can I reuse this stuff? Yes, absolutely. There is a nice interoperability with the native canvas. So if you already built some stuff with the Vue framework, you can reuse that things with the Compose canvas. And also, I was mentioning that you can, this interoperability, you can access the native canvas inside the draw scope. And if you have some complex paths you did implement in the past, and you don't want like to do the same thing for Compose, there is a nice extension function like to like convert your paths which come from the Vue system to a Compose path, and it can do the mapping very easily, and you don't need like to rewrite all the stuff you did. So while going for the native canvas, you might want to say, so you can access it because you don't want to rewrite all the stuff, so it will be like a fast and easy migration. And all methods from the native canvas are not available from the draw scope. And for example, if you want to draw some text, you have to access the native canvas. So here, for example, I'm going to access the onDraw method on my canvas, and then I'm going to call another lambda, which is draw into canvas in order to access the native canvas with, so it.native canvas, and then I can call all the methods from like the framework you use to deal with the Vue framework. So here I can draw some text, place some text, whatever I want in my canvas. And so with that, I can reuse all the stuff I managed to do with the Vue framework. Okay, so now let's talk a bit about some Vue canvas, some animation canvas. Okay, still here. And how we can animate some stuff with the canvas. Okay, so we have some transformation API to scale, animate, and translate, rotate. So it has a couple of lambdas here to animate all the stuff. So with that thing, you can animate all the drawings you have in your canvas. And of course, you can also animate the thing you have drawn with the native canvas. And that's a very nice thing, because as we've seen before, for drawing a text, you have to use the native canvas, and I want to animate this stuff? Yes, I can. So we'll be using like some classic animation flow here. So I'm gonna define an animation state here with remember infinite transition and or for example animate float as state in order to pass it to my canvas. And then we're gonna animate some drawings. You can interact with the scroll or with the drag, for example. You can drag and drop some stuff inside the canvas. It works very well as well. Okay, so let's do like a little animation here. So I'm gonna define a scale animation, for example, passing an initial value and then a target value. So it will be a scale that will be go like back and forth to have a scale animation, which will be infinite, so I'm gonna see it every time. And then, for example, I can define another animation. I can animate the color, I can animate the height of the composable. So I'm defining all the specs here, my target values and what I want like to do with all my drawings. And then I will add this animation on my canvas. So again, I'm on the draw lambda, so I'm using the draw scope, and I can call the translate method here. So I'm gonna define, okay, I want like to translate my shape from top to the bottom. So I'm gonna set the animation to the top parameter. And then I want like also to combine for another drawing, just draw on my canvas. I can combine several animations, so I can do some translation, some scaling at the same time. So this will be like on the translation and the scaling from the top to the bottom. So as you can see here, I can combine all the animation stuff. So what's on Android Studio for that? So I'm going back to my Android Studio. Might want like maybe to increase the font size. Sorry for that. It's gonna be better. Okay. So don't want my smiley face anymore. I'm gonna use that thing here. Okay, so this is my time wave animation I did for the Compose challenge, like the timer things. So I'm defining all the animation and stuff. Okay, now I'm on my canvas and I can animate all the stuff I draw. So this is a complex path here. And I can also mix some animation with translate scale. And this will be a text within the native canvas that I'm going to animate. Okay, so if I'm back here, okay, I'm gonna compile my sample. And show it on the screen. So for example, here it will be a timer with a wave animation, which is like ongoing forever. If I press start, so it's gonna translate and then translate and scale down and up till the end. And that's pretty much it. So it went very smoothly, and I can do some nice animation with the canvas stuff I wrote on my canvas. Okay, so let's go back to the slides now. So we've seen some knowledge about like drawing some shapes in the canvas. We can draw some rectangle, circle, mix of both, like maybe some complex paths with the Path API. And we're gonna reuse that knowledge in order to draw outside this dedicated composable. So we're gonna learn here how to build custom shape for your composable. So some shapes are already available on the foundation of Compose, like some rounding corner or cut corners, that a shape, the shape object you can access from the default of Compose. And now we're gonna customize this shape to have some custom shape on your own. So we're gonna see the use of the Pass API, and we're gonna also see the draw behind modifier. So inside each composable, you can access actually the canvas of the composable. So you can go full canvas composable with a dedicated component, but you can access also the canvas of each composable. So you will be accessing the draw scope of that composable, and you will use the modifier draw behind. Okay, so here, for example, I have a text. I'm setting some style, some text, okay, whatever. I'm going into the modifier. I can set a border, and with a border, I can set a shape for my text. So, for example, this is coming from the foundation of Compose, so I can set a rounded corner shape, or I can go with the background, and again, I can set a shape for my composable. So let's see how we can build much more complicated stuff, like a cinematic edit here. So we're gonna know how to use the shape API from Compose, and we're gonna see how we can do the pass to draw that shape. Okay, so we're gonna have our ticket composables here. So I'm gonna access the graphic layer in order to set the shape, the new shape I will be created just afterward. And for example, I don't know if you noticed, but there is some dotted outline in inside the ticket. So for that, I'm gonna access the canvas of the composable here, and I'm gonna draw the same path I will be using for drawing the ticket, but inside the canvas to render the dotted path inside the ticket. So for that, I will be using the draw path method, where I will be passing the path and the color and style. After it's up to you. Okay, so first the default of shape, the API. So you're gonna define your shape. So here, for example, a ticket shape with a corner radius, and gonna implement the shape interface. With the shape interface, it will create a new outline. And for example, if you want like have full customization, it will return a generic outline where you will be passing your own path for your new composable. Okay, so we're gonna start always by the top left corner. So we're gonna define then all the arcs for our path. So I'm gonna go for first the top left corner arc. And to do that, it's always defined inside the rectangle. So if I want to draw an arc, I want like to define the frame first. So that will be my frame where my arc will be drawn. And then I will give the start angle and the sweep angle in order to have the little arc for my path. So then I'm gonna go for the top left corner, and then I'm gonna draw the top edges, the top edge, and then I'm gonna go through the other corner, and then the edges, and again, in order to go back to the origin point at the top left corner. And to draw a line, it's very easy. You will be using the line2 function, which takes a XY value on your composable. Okay, so when you have combined all the stuff in your path, you can now draw anything you want. So the border, accessing the draw scope on the draw behind modifier, and use the path you just created, and maybe add some scale animation, so not animation, transformation, in order to reduce the dotted contour in your ticket. So like this, so we'll be using the same shape, same ID, but we're gonna just scale down the path for rendering the ticket. So we'll be doing like this. So I'm going to access the draw on draw behind, so to access the canvas again. I will be applying a scale transformation, so to have a bit less than the origin size, and then I'm gonna draw my path. Okay, so now it's all together combined. Let's see what's going on Android Studio. So I'm gonna comment that things here, and here I have my ticket composable here. So I'm gonna through the details. So I define the ticket shapes here when I will be passing my new path. So I'm gonna draw a path, a ticket path, and then I will be defining the arc2, then the line, then again the arc, and then it's like you define the path to go back to the origin, and then do not forget like to close your path in order like to complete the path. Otherwise, it won't render very well. Okay, so back on the sample here, if I want to compile the stuff, and here we go. You have your ticket shape here render in your layout, whatever you want. Here it's the composed constraint layout, so you can do whatever you want, like applying all the shapes you want, draw all the things you have in mind. It's totally doable, and it's very efficient. Okay, so back to the slides now. And we can also go further and animate the shapes you just created. So, for example, here I will take back that wave animation I did, and I will draw the shape of that wave stuff, and I will animate it. So you can animate all the composable you want with the shapes you just gave to that composable. So if I go back to Android Studio here, I don't want this ticket anymore. And now I just want like to show this. So I have my ticket wave composable here. So if I go on it, I set up the animation stuff. So it's an image, so it can be anything you want a composable. So I'm gonna access the graphic layer here, and I will be defining a new shape. So it's a generic shape. I override here the builder method, and I'm gonna draw a wave path. So a bunch of paths with some mathematics stuff inside, and so it's gonna animate the wave. So if I go back to my sample here, so you can see, oh, it's not working. Why? Because if I go back to my composable here, I'm passing directly, so the delta animation, I want like to go to generate my wave animation directly inside the lambda of the generic path. It's not working because it's immutable. Shape has been designed as immutable, so if you are passing the animation inside the lambda that has been there for the shape, it won't trigger the recomposition and not the recomposition, but the trigger of the animation. So a workaround for this will be like maybe to do like animate X here, putting actually the variable of the animation into a temporary animation and then pass it to the generic shape. So if it is now in the graphic layer, and the graphic layer will recompute each time there is a new value, and we'll be seeing some stuff on the screen. And now, as the value of the animation has been emitted inside the graphics layer, you can see the animation running in the shape. And again, for example, you can have another animation here. Whoops. For example, I will be animated like a polygon here. Again, I'm defining an animation there, and I will be passing the new value, but here, directly with the constructor of the shape. So as it's inside the graphic layer scope, so there won't be any problem, and the animation will be running as expected. So if I do it again, and then you can see the animation of the polygon going from a triangle to how many, I don't know, remember the edges of the form. Okay, and I think, so that was the demo. And if you want like to have something like to explore on your own, I wrote some articles about the Jetpack Compose Canvas. So all the things I've been talking about today is available on that article. And if you want like to know more about the shape and how to build custom shape for your composable, I have also another article here, so feel free to use it to explore all the Canvas stuff. And thank you very much. Hope you have learned some stuff and have fun with Jetpack Compose Canvas. Thank you.